I'm a social worker by training. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology from Harvard University and a master's in social work from the University of Chicago. People would say that I was well put together, and they had no idea how much I was hurting inside. So I was just numb to my feelings. So I'd get up and go to work, come home, have the television watch me, go to bed, hit repeat. And didn't know what I didn't know in terms of what was possible for me. When I was in the year early on, I had a habit of doing this when I was about to explain something, and explain was the operative word. So I was in my head all the time and trying to understand stuff and figure stuff out. And the heart of me was missing because I hadn't experienced enough acceptance feeling all my feelings. I began to fill up. I want to share something. I'm a social worker, as I mentioned, and about 3 years ago, I had this vision, right about the time that I was starting my work here at Wright. And I had this seed of a thing. You know, in the past, I've had these seeds of ideas before. It's like, man, I really would love to do this thing. I would like to contribute in this way. And I was so freaking afraid of life and of me that that's as far as it would go. And I never stepped out. And what I really want to talk about is this thing that we did. The Illinois Social and Emotional Learning Network hosted a summit, and we brought 80 people together from the Chicagoland area who have a common passion about social and emotional learning in schools and communities and so forth. I've got this mission in life, this vision for the state of Illinois to become a state that is socially and emotionally literate, so that every youngster in this state grows up learning these skills as a matter of course, because we, the adults who are in their lives teaching and nurturing them, also are socially and emotionally literate.
I think manhood in our modern age is a confused concept. I was constantly afraid of what other people thought. So I just basically lived a life of very careful avoidance. I was like that guy in the middle that would just never quite decide or take sides. When Senchit and I first got married in our early years, I definitely wasn't the strong one. You know, she kind of wore the pants in the family. But once we had our first child, it felt like this emotional avalanche.
Culturally, the entire family just wants to jump in. My mother wanted to stay for a month, his mother wanted to stay for a month, and in the midst of it, I started feeling very, very insecure. I know that I'm a good mother, but you know, sometimes honestly, when I speak to my mom, I doubt myself.
And I started to realize that she is very vulnerable at this time, and I didn't know how to have her like really lean on me. I had to get a lot of support through the work at the foundation to learn how to be stronger as a man and actually own the relationship and say, you're mine, this is our child, this is our family. And it took me a lot of doing to get to that place. And as I did, she started to like melt. And it was the first time, I mean, my wife, when I first met her, she had not cried for 11 years. So I feel like the first 8 years of our life was just the thawing process.
He was really creating the boundaries that I really wasn't able to make at that time. Like putting limits on, okay, how much time will family come over? Or even when family's spending time, comments that family members would make, he would step in and remind me of, no, this is what you wanted. And with that strength, there's a balance of the softness that comes out. And I feel like that's been the biggest transformation that I've seen. It's funny because I feel like I'm falling in love with him again because he's a completely different man than he was when I met.
So I was born and raised in Bangladesh, and I literally feel a pull between my heart and that piece of land. The Wright Foundation was really critical in helping me get introduced to some very, very critical high-level Bangladeshi people, one of which was Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who has earned the Nobel Peace Prize and done a lot of great work for Bangladesh. And to that end, I've created a nonprofit organization called Bangladesh 6G. 6G stands for 6 generations, which is thinking 6 generations out forever. So we look to create sustainable solutions for Bangladesh that can help Bangladesh grow and become abundant, holistic, and sustainable.